Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am beyond excited to talk a little bit about our Pittsburgh office today. This is where my home is, so I work in our Pittsburgh office, and I am so excited to introduce our guest here in a second. So let me add her in. Just one moment as she joins. Hi, Mary. How's it going? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Much for joining us today. We're having such a beautiful day here in Pittsburgh, so I can't wait to talk about all things Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
For everyone joining us right now, my name is Allie, and I'm on the campus recruiting team, and I'm here with Mary. She has been at Beacon Hill since 2014, and she is our senior recruiting manager on our Pittsburgh Technologies team. So just to kind of kick things off, Mary, I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about your story. How did you discover staffing and Beacon Hill as a whole? Since you've been here for almost a decade now, I'd love to hear just about your journey and, from where you started to where you are now.
Yeah, definitely. So I went to the University of Pittsburgh. I was in the business school where I studied marketing and international business, and I actually had a minor in Chinese too. So after graduation, I took an entry-level position with a local Pittsburgh company in their call center doing customer service. And it was a really great role, helped me transition from being a college kid and, post grad into the real world. But I knew it wasn't what I wanted to do long term. And I got really lucky when, out of the blue, one of my former managers who I used to work for at Finish Line, Mike Reckner, who at the time he was in our Pittsburgh office, and he's since then moved to our Atlanta team and runs the recruiting team down there. But he actually reached out to me and was like, hey, random question, I'm trying to network. Do you know anybody who would be interested in a sales position? And I was like, me, talk to me, tell me more. I'd love to hear everything. So yeah, it kind of fell into my lap like that. I knew nothing about staffing, even less about technologies. At that time, I probably couldn't even tell you the difference between Mac and Windows. So it was just a big learning curve. I started at the bottom, but 9 years later, here I am.
Incredible. I mean, I think that's such an incredible story. And I tell candidates that all the time that, you don't have to have a tech background.
Nope.
So can you kind of talk about, what position you started in and how you've been promoted through the years and where you are now?
Yeah. So like I said, I started at the bottom. I came in as a staffing consultant, knew nothing, had to learn the ropes from the very beginning. I was promoted over the course of the couple of years, I was promoted to senior staffing consultant, senior managing consultant, recruiting manager, and then most recently senior recruiting manager. So yeah, it's been really exciting. I have a full team underneath me of recruiters who, they're amazing. They come from all levels of experience too. A lot of them, the role fell into their laps as well, where they weren't expected to be in the staffing industry. So
Yeah.
really great collaborative team.
Love it. I know. I tell people all the time that so many recruiters, it kind of just fell into their lap. A lot of times you don't go to school for recruiting, but you kind of get into it just through connections or things like that. So are you from Pittsburgh? Have you always lived in Pittsburgh? I know you said you went to Pitt, so.
Yeah. So I grew up about an hour outside of Pittsburgh in a town called Latrobe. It was a very small town. My next door neighbor had a farm and cows and everything. So I knew after graduating high school, I wanted to get into the big city. So I wanted to go to the city. So yeah, I went to Pitt, 4 years there, and I never left. I am just a diehard Pittsburgh girly. Like everyone in the city, we bleed black and gold. I just love everything about Pittsburgh. I never want to leave.
That's so common. I always say that, us Pittsburghers, we're so prideful of our city. And even in the office, I know there are so many problems. So that's so great that, you're here and you're not planning on leaving anytime.
Nope. You're stuck with Beacon Hill.
Yes. So can you tell us a little bit too about the Pittsburgh office, just kind of like the setup and like what it's like working in this office?
Yeah. So we, in the Pittsburgh office, we have our technologies team, and then we also have our associates division there too. And then of course, we have you representing the campus recruiting team.
Yep.
We have a bullpen environment, so it's really fun and energetic. It's a very fast-paced environment, lively, but it's really great for collaboration. You know, we are constantly being able to hear other members of our team taking phone calls. I love to hear our sales team talking to clients, getting new positions, bringing it back to us, and then immediately seeing the entire recruiting team light up and start hitting the phones, calling their candidates, trying to get people locked down and represented to our clients. So it's super exciting. As a new recruiter coming in with no experience, it really sets you up with some great opportunity to just be a little sponge and just listen to everything. You know, I was constantly being like, wow, like that's a great strategy that they just used talking to that candidate, or that was an awesome like close that they did. So you know, being able to hear people who have been doing this for years and years and years, it does make it a lot easier to get ramped up.
Absolutely. And I think too, I love how we all are in the same office, but we all sit so closely to each other. Because especially when you're new, I know sometimes it's nerve-wracking to be on the phones, but it's all sit near each other so that if you have a question, you can go to the person next to you or your direct manager, and everyone is super supportive and like wanting everyone to grow. So I love our all,
very encouraging.
Very, yes.
Yeah. And you know, one of the great things too is like as a manager, I can be listening to my team's calls as well. So like if I hear them kind of, you know, coming up with a question, I can immediately send them a quick Teams message, get them the answer, you know, right then versus, you know, having to hang up, call them back, talk to me, you know, it just gets the process moving a lot faster too.
Yeah. 100%. And I think too, what I love about it is it's not, we don't have cubicles or anything like that. It's a very floor plan. So you really are listening to everyone, but it's to support each other. And when you're new, it is so helpful to have everyone there kind of in that open bullpen of that setting. And I know that in your team especially, I feel like you do some fun traditions. I know when people start out, you give them all terrible towels.
Yeah, I know a lot of people had like bells and gongs that they would ring whenever they get, you know, to celebrate a deal or a placement. We wanted to put a little Pittsburgh twist on it. So we created the Beacon Hill Technologies Pittsburgh official terrible towel. And every time anybody on the team gets a deal where everyone's waving the towels, it's, you know, the whole office, the whole bullpen celebrating and just really encouraging everybody. So that's one of my favorite traditions. We also, every month, we like to honor and recognize the top recruiter on each team and the top account manager by doing recruiter of the month and account manager of the month. And it's really just to recognize those who went above and beyond, you know, had some really great numbers, or, you know, they were overcoming a struggle or an objection that they had. And so we like to do that award, and they get to spin the wheel of fun and win some cool prizes. We have a lot of other fun traditions like that too.
I love it. I love it. No, the Pittsburgh team is great. And I know for people listening, so Beacon Hill usually does quarterly outings. You know, every single quarter we do some fun things. So can you talk about some of the fun quarterly outings, you know, you've done in your 9 years that are some of your favorites?
Yeah, we usually almost every year go to a Pirate game. So that's fun. We get club seats, and, you know, they're not the best team. We have better teams in Pittsburgh, but it's always, we have the best park, I'd say, best things. So that's always fun. We do Topgolf. Most recently, we did a party peddler where we, you know, had the little bikes and pedal around the city, and that was a good time. Lots of fun. You know, we did, I think, like pottery the one year, painting, just margarita tours. Lots of, you know, everyone kind of pitching in ideas of fun things to do.
Yeah. I love how even since I've been here, we've always done different outings, and it's so, especially for people starting out, to really get to bond with each other. Like I said before, obviously we have the technology team in Pittsburgh, but we also have the associates division too. So it's really nice because that's when we can all come together, and know each other and have fun. So I love it. And can you also kind of talk about our location of where we're located? You know, I think we're in such a great spot, but for people,
I think we're extremely lucky. We are in the Cardella building on the North Shore. And one of the best things about the Cardella building, and my favorite, is we have free parking, which is super rare in the Pittsburgh area to have that offered. In terms of the building, it's a super cool, it's a formerly converted like casket and bronze casting building. So like it's very old, but like modern at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a gym on site that everybody is able to use. There's nap rooms there in case you need like, to take a quick 15-minute break on your lunch to catch some Z's, or, a really great restaurant that a lot of our team members go to every day. My favorite part is right outside of the office, there's the Ohio River walking trail. You can just walk right out onto it. So every day at lunch, a lot of the team members are going for, walks to get exercise and fresh air. You can easily go down to the casino, the the new stadium and PNC Park, catch some concerts at Stage AE. There's tons of great restaurants for happy hours and client meetings, and just we have our Beacon Hill Book Club too that we always like to go right down the North Shore to meet and discuss our books during happy hour.
No, it is awesome. I love our location, especially one of the biggest points you said is the free parking. I've worked downtown in Pittsburgh, and there are so many places where you have to get a lease or try to find a street parking, but it is nice because we are so close to the North Shore, so where all of our stadiums are. And again, big into our sports team, so it's fun that right from the office we can go to our outing at the Pirates Park, and I think it's such a good location and so many great offerings there as well. So
very centralized.
Yes, no, I agree, very so. So with again, almost 10 years, you have such an incredible story at Beacon Hill. Can you kind of tell us some of your favorite parts about working at Beacon Hill, and just all the fun things you've gotten to experience through the years?
Yeah, I think one core thing is every year we get to go to the holiday party up in Boston. I know that is a big favorite for every team member, where they, the company flies you and your significant other up to Boston for a huge 2-day party with the entire company. So you're getting to finally get to meet your colleagues from different offices and different divisions and mingle and see everybody and celebrate everyone's successes over the years. That one's always fun. We always get all glammed up and, just an excuse to like get a really pretty dress. You don't really get that excuse to get dressed up when you're older. So that's always fun. Other than that, I think probably my favorite memory is hitting President's Club over the years. It's truly magical getting to go down there. It's all expenses paid vacation down to the Breakers in West Palm Beach. And you have to be there to like really let it soak in and appreciate everything that it is. But it's really great to work for a company that recognizes your hard work and, celebrates your achievements.
100%. I know. I have not yet been able to go to President's
Club. You'll be there soon.
So I keep hearing about it, and
we'll drink some pineapple margaritas together.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And it's martinis too.
Yeah. You know me.
Yeah. So it is honestly so fun from what I've heard of. And can you talk to me about Top of the Hill, especially for people in Pittsburgh? Kind of talk about where you get to go and kind of what that whole day looks like too.
So Top of the Hill is an achievement where the company will get us a limo and they give you $1,000 shopping spree. So we kick off the day by going up to Warrendale to Off the Hook. It's a really fancy seafood restaurant where, we have a nice lunch, have some time, chat with everybody, and then we get chauffeured in our limo down to Ross Park Mall to go on our little shopping spree. And it's always a nice treat. I don't count that as like it's my reward and fun money, so I always like to splurge and get a couple designer bags, an iPad, just these things, these purchases that I maybe wouldn't do otherwise, but winning that accomplishment gives you the incentive to go out and like just treat yourself.
Exactly. Gosh, I know. And it's so fun, and I mean the limo is so great. And it's
the entire team gets together afterwards too for happy hour to celebrate. So it's really great as a, especially on the sales team, getting to celebrate with the recruiters that you have those placements with and, we're partnered with and collaborated all year long. And so having the entire team together to celebrate is super fun.
I love it. Yeah. Again, for those who like haven't hit it or, who are like working towards it, it is so cool. And it honestly is inspiring to see everyone come back from it. And
all of our bags.
You're like, okay, next year I'm going to hit that and I'm going to hit bags. No, it's honestly incredible. Well, Mary, thank you so much for, obviously, like I said, you've had such an incredible career here at Beacon Hill. Love hearing all about the office and everything that makes Pittsburgh so great. So for anyone who's listening who may have just graduated college or maybe they're looking for a career change into staffing, you know, what type of candidate do you look for someone who is getting into recruiting, whether they've just graduated college or whether they are looking to make that career change?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, ultimately, we always are looking for someone who's a good team fit. Like I said, we are very, very collaborative. So we want someone who is outgoing, high energy, someone, you know, being self-motivated is very important. We want people who are able to set personal goals, professional goals, financial goals for themselves, and then hold themselves accountable to reach those goals. You know, one great thing about Beacon Hill is there is uncapped commissions. So it's a very work hard, play hard environment. And, you know, the more hard work that you put in, the more you're going to get out of it, the more money you're going to make. So, you know, it's very rewarding in that. So we want someone who is very self-motivated, competitive, not only with, you know, other team members and recruiters in the industry, but also just with themselves, that will keep pushing themselves year over year to get better and keep growing. In terms of being a new, you know, entry level recruiter, you know, being a sponge. Like I said, for me, it was just soaking in everything, being coachable and wanting to learn and wanting to grow. You know, IT is changing constantly. I've been doing this for, you know, 9 years, and I'm still constantly like learning and Googling things and looking up technology. So just always being ready to keep learning and keep growing is important. We have a really great mentorship and training program. So we're gonna give you the keys to be successful. You just gotta put the car in drive and take it to the finish line to get there. So
Yeah, no, I cannot agree more. And our training program is really great because, like you said, so many people come and join us who are either right out of college or making that career change, and they have no experience in recruiting, and that's completely okay. And I also love what you said too about it being competitive, but not like a cutthroat environment. We're so supportive of each other. And we honestly, we want ourselves to, you know, succeed, but we also want our team to succeed too. And that really makes Beacon Hill so special. But lastly, I would love to just know if you could provide any advice for someone who maybe is just starting their career in staffing or is about to be, you know, with your 9 years at Beacon Hill, any advice you can give to someone out?
Well, again, you know, being that sponge, soaking up everything that you can, that's always important. You know, having conversations with people who've been doing this, you know, pulling them aside, learning like what do they do that has been working. And, you know, there's no like straight line of how to be a good recruiter. We always say that, you know, me and the other recruiting manager, Sarah, in the office, we have two very distinct different ways of recruiting. And so my way's not right, her way's not right, but like, you know, being able to kind of learn from both of us, or, you know, learn from other members of the team and find what works best for you. You know, having those conversations and just keep asking questions, keep, you know, pushing yourself even further is what it would take to, you know, be successful and learn and get ramped up quick.
Love that. Cannot agree more. Well, Mary, thank you so much for your time today. I mean, I've Pittsburgh and our team forever. It really is such an incredible office, and both teams are so great. So thank you so much for taking the time out today to chat with all of us and everything. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
No, I love it. I mean, we're always working next to each other, but it's fun. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope everyone has a great day.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.